Let's do a quick recap for each fight for UFC 301 Pantoja vs Erceg. I'll also review my prediction results for each fight, which I make for every single event on this channel. Please like and subscribe if you find this informative, interesting, or entertaining. My Patreon is also in the description if you'd like to support me for $5 or $10 a month. Definitely not required, but it would be highly appreciated. Any type of support that you all show helps keep me motivated in continuing to create content for you all. So if you want to get data science backed predictions, a breakdown of fighter stats and fight history, promising underdogs and best inexpensive favorites, and full event recaps with prediction results, please subscribe and check out the channel. Let's go ahead and jump right in. We ended the night 10 out of 13 fights, which is a 77% accuracy. For the previous 10 events, we're averaging 67%. All-time, we're averaging 67% as well. All-time pay-per-views, we're averaging 70%. And all-time fight nights, we're averaging 65%. For the first fight, we had Alexandre Costa versus Kevin Borjas. Costa previously faced two elite 125-pound fighters and was eager for a win, while Borjas was seeking for redemption after a tough debut. The fight began with both fighters sizing each other up, but Costa quickly took control, landing a flurry of punches and kicks, opening a cut above Borjas' ear. Despite Borjas' efforts, Costa's relentless assault, including a series of leg kicks, knocked Borjas down multiple times in the second round. Costa capitalized on Borjas' weakened state, mounting him and finishing him with a barrage of punches, prompting the referee to stop the fight at 1 minute 35 seconds of the second round, giving Costa the TKO victory. I predicted Alexandre Costa had a 59.9% probability of victory, and he was able to get us our first win of the night. Those leg kicks really did a number on Borjas. He was even hopping around for a little bit. Costa has great power and he lands in bunches. That was a pretty exciting fight to kick off our prelims. In the next fight, we had Ismael Bonfim versus Vince Piquel. The first round saw both fighters exchanging strikes, with Bonfim landing some significant shots and even attempting a late guillotine choke. Round 2 continued with Bonfim's dominance, landing accurate punches and kicks, visibly affecting Piquel. In the final round, Bonfim's powerful strikes caused damage, including a cut on Vince's nose. Despite a brief eye poke incident, the fighters continued their intense exchanges. Bonfim maintained control, staggering Vince with a left hook and securing a takedown. The fight ended with both fighters showing respect, and the judges awarded Bonfim a unanimous decision victory. I predicted Ismael Bonfim had a 67.9% probability of victory, and he did not disappoint. Respect to Piquel for being so tough and durable. He avoided getting finished, and he didn't do bad, honestly. Some fans thought Piquel would pull off the upset, and although he had some interesting moments during this fight, ultimately I knew Bonfim would get the job done, even if it wasn't in the most exciting fashion. With him winning, we got our second win of the evening. In the next fight, we had Dion Barbosa versus Ernesto Caracate. The fight began with Barbosa controlling the ground game and securing dominant positions and attempting various submission holds, including a rear naked choke and an armbar. Caracate showed resilience, defending against Barbosa's attacks and even reversing positions at times. However, Barbosa's grappling expertise just proved to be too much for Caracate in the first 2 rounds, earning her the judges' favor. In the final round, Caracate displayed her striking ability, landing crisp punches and effectively defending against Barbosa's takedown attempts. Despite Caracate's strong showing in the third round, the judges scored the fight in favor of Barbosa, who secured the victory via unanimous decision. Many fans thought that this was a robbery, and I get where they're coming from. Comment below what you guys thought of this fight and who you thought actually won. Now, I predicted Dion Barbosa had a 66.4% probability of victory, and the judges gave her that victory, giving us our third win of the night. For the next fight, we had Mauricio Ruffy versus Jamie Mullarkey. The fight began with Ruffy showcasing his striking skills, landing heavy leg kicks and jabs that quickly reddened Mullarkey's nose and opened up a cut on the bridge of his nose. Mullarkey, who's known for his brawling style, tried to engage, but he found himself on the receiving end of Ruffy's precise strikes. Despite Mullarkey's toughness, Ruffy's relentless assault took its toll. Ruffy displayed his diverse striking arsenal, including a well-timed jump knee that significantly damaged Mullarkey's nose. As Mullarkey continued to press forward, Ruffy capitalized on an opportunity, landing a barrage of punches that forced the ref to step in and stop the fight at 4 minutes and 42 seconds of the first round. This victory marked an impressive debut for Ruffy in the UFC, showcasing his skills and earning that TKO victory. And did you guys see that scissor sweep and that wheel kick? That's insane. Now, I predicted Mauricio Ruffy had a 60.4% probability of victory, and he absolutely nailed it with that dominant performance. He has all the makings of a future champion if I've ever seen one. Huge potential. I'm looking forward to seeing his future fights and seeing him climb the ladder in this division and continue to earn his spot. He looked very comfortable in the octagon, he looked sharp and prepared. And with this win, he's now won 4 fights in a row. For the next fight, we have Joaquim Silva versus Drakkar Klose. The fight started with Klose showcasing his forward pressure and landing significant strikes, including a series of knees and punches in the clinch against the fence. Silva tried to counter with his own strikes, but found himself mostly on the defensive. Klose continued to press the action in the second round, landing body kicks and maintaining control in the clinch. Silva managed to land a solid left hand, but was unable to mount significant offense. The third round saw Silva finding more success with his striking, landing several clean shots and even attempting a guillotine choke. However, Klose managed to escape and return to his feet, where both fighters traded blows until the final bell. Despite Silva's late surge, the judges scored the fight in favor of Klose, who secured the victory via unanimous decision. I predicted Drakkar Klose had a 62.1% probability of victory, and he was able to survive that third round to get the win. Not the most interesting fight, honestly, and the one thing I stressed in my prediction video was that Klose would need to control the distance and avoid grappling against Silva. And that third round was very concerning because he wasn't doing either of those things. Also, his cardio and endurance is very concerning as well. He was gassed early on. Well, regardless, he got us our 5th straight win in a row, so we're going to go ahead and take that. For the next fight, we had Elves Brener versus Myktybek Orolbai. The fight began with Orolbai showcasing his striking, landing a variety of kicks and punches, and eventually securing a takedown. Brener attempted a guillotine choke but couldn't capitalize, leading to Orolbai dominating the round with ground and pound. The second round saw Orolbai continuing his dominance, landing a powerful kick that dropped Brener, and then he controlled the fight on the ground with more striking and grappling. Brener showed resilience, attempting to fight back, and even securing a brief moment of control on the ground. However, Orolbai's relentless attack just proved to be way too much, leading to a dominant performance. In the final round, both fighters showed signs of fatigue, with Brener attempting a takedown and grappling exchanges while Orolbai countered with strikes and defense. Despite a point deduction for grabbing the fence, Orolbai maintained control and secured the victory via unanimous decision. I predicted Myktybek Orolbai had a 62.1% probability of victory, and although a lot of people questioned that this week, or why I didn't feature Brener in my video that covered promising underdogs for UFC 301, I did my research. I watched both fighters' fights and looked into their training and weaknesses, and I honestly noticed an endurance issue for Brener and how Orolbai was the more technical fighter, especially in the striking department, which was ultimately able to give him the control where he needed in this fight. He got the job done, giving us our 6th straight win in a row. In the next fight, we had Karolina Kowalkiewicz versus Iasmin Lucindo. From the start, Lucindo's aggressive striking and grappling dominated the fight. She landed heavy punches, a flying knee, and controlled Karolina against the fence with knees and strikes. Karolina showed toughness, surviving multiple submission attempts and ground strikes. However, Lucindo's relentless pressure and effective strikes kept her in control throughout the fight. Despite Karolina's efforts to rally in the later rounds with her own striking and grappling, Lucindo's superior technique and power secured her a unanimous decision victory. I predicted Iasmin Lucindo had a 66.8% probability of victory, and she fought exactly how we expected. This fight was honestly very easy to predict, and although Karolina is a fan favorite, Iasmin really shined tonight. And with this fight, we got 7 fights in a row correct, which would have been an absolutely insane parlay now that I think about it. In the next fight, we had Jack Shore versus Joanderson Brito. Brito, who is known for his aggressive style, dominated the fight with his striking, particularly targeting Shore's left leg with powerful kicks that caused significant damage. Despite Shore's efforts to defend and counter, Brito's relentless pressure and effective clinch work proved to be too much. The fight was stopped in the second round when the doctor deemed Shore's leg too severe to continue, handing Brito the victory and handing Shore his first loss by TKO. I predicted Jack Shore had a 52.2% probability of victory, and it was really contingent upon him avoiding Brito's powerful shots and draining his stamina and then looking for an opportunity. However, he just stayed in front of Brito and allowed him to pressure him and keep his back to the cage. He didn't use his footwork or implement a good game plan, and he suffered a loss as a result. And with this fight ending, our record became 7 wins and 1 loss for the night. In the next fight, we had Paul Craig versus Caio Borralho. In the first round, both fighters engaged in a feeling out process, with Borralho showcasing his southpaw stance and Craig attempting several takedowns, none of which were successful. While Borralho controlled the action, neither fighter inflicted significant damage. As the second round began, both fighters remained tentative, with Craig utilizing long kicks and Borralho countering with his punches. However, Borralho's aggression soon paid off, as he landed a hard straight left that dropped Craig to the canvas. Despite Craig's efforts to recover, Borralho continued his onslaught with a knee and a powerful right hand that ended the fight. The victory solidified Borralho's dominance in the middleweight division, while Craig suffered a tough defeat despite his resilience. I predicted Caio Borralho had a 71.4% probability of victory, and he truly lived up to that confident prediction. The research and analysis put into getting that figure really paid off. With this fight, our record became 8 wins and only 1 loss. In the next fight, we had Michael Pereira versus Ihor Potieria. Pereira, who is known for his dynamic and unorthodox style, displayed his dominance early on, knocking Potieria off his feet with a powerful right hand. Despite a potentially illegal knee strike while Potieria was on the ground, Pereira continued aggressively, locking in the guillotine choke as Potieria stood up, forcing Potieria to tap out. Potieria briefly lost consciousness after the choke was released, prompting concern from officials. However, Potieria eventually recovered while Pereira celebrated his win. The legality of the knee strike was later reviewed by officials, but Pereira's victory stood. I predicted Michael Pereira had a 71.4% probability of victory, and we nailed this prediction. Similar to Borralho, he lived up to that confident prediction. He's fun to watch, and he only seems to get better over time with each fight. His confidence is sky high right now, and he's been destroying anyone that the UFC has been feeding him, honestly. For the next fight, we had Anthony Smith versus Vitor Petrino. Veteran contender Smith clashed with rising star Petrino, who boasted an unblemished record. Before the fight, both fighters displayed sportsmanship, exchanging a glove touch with each other. Smith surged ahead early on in the fight, connecting with precise jabs and a powerful high kick that caused visible damage to Petrino's nose. Petrino tried to shift the momentum with a takedown, only to fall into a trap as Smith swiftly locked in a guillotine choke. Petrino, unable to break free, succumbed to the submission, tapping out just 2 minutes into the opening round. The victory was a statement for Smith, signaling his determination to climb back up on the rankings. Honestly, I don't know how Petrino allowed that to happen. He kind of just gave Smith the win there. I predicted Vitor Petrino had a 76% probability of victory, and Destiny did not want Smith to lose this fight. I gotta hand it to Smith. I mean, I really do have to admire how lion-hearted he is. You guys see what I did there? Anyways, on a serious note, all jokes aside, Smith is experienced and a true veteran of the game, and tonight he proved exactly why you can't count out experience, even if the opponent is younger and more powerful. For the next fight, we had our co-main event, Jonathan Martinez versus Jose Aldo. Aldo, who is known as one of the greatest featherweights of all time, sought to make a statement in this comeback fight. Martinez, who was a skilled striker, aimed to prove himself against a seasoned veteran. The fight opened with both fighters showing respect, touching gloves before engaging. Aldo took control early on, landing crisp jabs and a powerful high kick. Martinez tried to respond with leg kicks, but Aldo countered effectively, even attempting a guillotine choke at one point. Despite Martinez's efforts, Aldo's experience and skill were evident as he dominated the exchanges. As the fight progressed, Aldo continued to showcase his striking ability, mixing body shots with head strikes. Martinez showed resilience but struggled to find an answer to Aldo's relentless attacks. The crowd, which was firmly behind Aldo, provided an electric atmosphere, cheering him on with every single strike that he landed. In the end, Aldo's performance was just too much for Martinez to handle. The judges scored the fight unanimously in favor of Aldo, and Aldo's victory was not only a testament to his skill, but also a reminder of his enduring legacy in the sport itself. I predicted Jonathan Martinez had a 60% probability of victory, but he did not show up tonight. I expected Aldo to bring it, and he did, but Martinez looked shocked or just frozen. He didn't look like his usual self, and he did not look comfortable. He had a really low output, and he barely countered strikes. He had ineffective striking, and he was even getting walked backwards in the first round. I'm not sure if he was just overwhelmed or very nervous, because I could imagine Aldo's aura in Brazil being very impactful, but not to the point where you look like an amateur. Aldo proved how his experience is an asset and not a liability, and I'm honestly happy for his legacy. But that was a disappointing performance from Martinez. For the next fight, we had our main event, Alexandre Pantoja versus Steve Erceg. From the start, Pantoja set the pace with relentless flurries of punches, pressuring Erceg against the cage. Despite Erceg's efforts to counter and maintain distance with his jab, Pantoja's aggression and clinch work allowed him to control the early exchanges. Erceg showed resilience, landing some clean shots and even sweeping Pantoja to briefly gain top position. However, Pantoja's ground game was too strong and he regained control and continued to dictate the pace. As the fight progressed, both fighters exchanged heavy shots, with Erceg landing some effective strikes while Pantoja remained relentless in his pursuit. The championship round saw both fighters digging deep, with Erceg landing a takedown but unable to capitalize as Pantoja reversed and maintained dominant position. Despite a spirited effort from Erceg, Pantoja's overall control and effective striking earned him the victory via unanimous decision. With this win, Pantoja tied the record for consecutive title defenses in the UFC flyweight division, solidifying his position as one of the best in the world at 125 pounds. I predicted Alexandre Pantoja to have a 60.6% probability of victory, and although it was a hard-fought war, he was able to prove himself as the better fighter tonight. Regardless of what happened in this fight and who won, we have to give it up to Steve Erceg and give him the respect that he deserves for that performance. His stamina was insane. He didn't look tired at all. In fact, Pantoja looked a little more exhausted than he did, but that actually has to do with how Pantoja's style of fighting is and his mannerisms while he's fighting. Regardless, Erceg did great. Pantoja did great as well, and this was a technical back-and-forth fight with a high pace through all the rounds. Honestly, Erceg's stock went up, Pantoja got more respect as well. It was a fun fight and a very fun card. And that was it. We ended the night 10 out of 13 fights, which again is a 77% accuracy. As I wrap up my recap for UFC 301 Pantoja vs. Erceg, I hope you found this breakdown of each fight informative and engaging. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for more content like this in the future. Check out the Patreon if you'd like to support me through that as well. Your support keeps me motivated to continue bringing you the latest updates and analysis from the world of MMA. Until next time, stay tuned for more action-packed reviews and analysis. Thank you all for watching and see you all in the next video.